Testing. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, sorry for the delay. This thing takes a little bit to get rocking with. We have a growth problem every year, which is really awesome. So, yeah, I want to welcome you all here today and introduce myself. I'm Curt Van Engen, my wife, Donna, over there, the blonde there. We would, like I say, want to welcome you here this morning. Thanks for the great turnout. We would like to give you a little history on how Vision on Vine got started. Back in 2000, I got a call in from God that we should probably do something like this. Been riding motorcycle since I was 17, so wanted to do some type of a reach out to the biker people. Seems like a lot of our generation has kind of fallen away from the church building and stuff, and so he put on our hearts to do something like this. We really didn't have quite the place where we lived before. We've had this place 6 years. We didn't have really a place to have it before, and 6 years ago he blessed us with this acreage, which really worked out great. Yeah, and we've been doing this once a year, plan on having it, till whenever, till I can't do it anymore or whatever. And a couple things I want to go over is we have one couple that it's their anniversary today, Scott and Linda. Where you at?
Way back here.
Okay, they're way back there.
Doesn't that feel like real church now? We have the announcement time to say anniversaries and stuff?
Yeah. Oh,
you thought you weren't coming to church. We fooled you.
Yeah. And it's our 40th anniversary today, Donna and I. So another thing I want to honor is our veterans. Would the veterans please stand up? Anybody that served in the military, or please stand up. Don't be shy. Let's have a round of applause for them. Thank you for you guys. Thank you for fighting for our freedom. Without you guys, we wouldn't be having this thing, because we'd have thumbs down on us from some government that wouldn't let us do this openly like this. So let's keep them in mind. Whenever you see a veteran or whatever, shake his hand, thank him. So, like I said, I want to welcome you here. Thank God for the beautiful day. I'm going to turn it over. This year we have our speakers. I'll just tell you who they are. We've got Ken Elder. He's going to be doing his speaking here today. And over at the Freedom Rock, you guys will have to do not miss the ride to the Freedom Rock, because this guy that's speaking there is totally, totally awesome. And they both are, but they both got a real connection with each other. They're both veterans. And we got to thank God for our freedom. But make sure we do that. Then from the Freedom Rock in Ashton, we're going to go up to Hawkeye Point and have some snacks, and we'll do a closing up there. So enjoy your day. We're going to do some praise and worship. And it's all yours, Kenny.
Thank you, Curtis. So here's the flow. Is we're going to have some songs, and then Kenny will come up and share some testimony time of how God's moved in his life. And then we'll close with a few songs, and then y'all can fill your bellies with the food and stuff inside. But now's a great time. Is make sure you have a song sheet. And I know some of you are Midwestern, so you're like, I don't really sing anyway. But it's okay. None of us really sing that good. So we're all going to try and fake it this morning. If you'll stand up, maybe just say good morning to somebody around you so it does feel like church, like you're going somewhere. And then we're going to get started.
When I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the roar the universe display. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Okay, now that you got the old school in you, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. And when I think that God His Son not sparing, sent Him to die, I scarce can take it. That on the cross, my burden gladly bearing, He bled and died to take away my sin. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come,
When Christ shall come with a shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow with humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. 'Cause you're the name above all names. You are worthy of all praise. My heart will sing, how great is our God. How great? How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? And all will see how great is our God. And age to age He's saying, and age to age He stands, and time is in His hands, beginning and the end, beginning and the end.
name above all names.
'Cause you're the name above all names. You are worthy of all praise. My heart will sing, how great is our God.
Name above all names, real loud, y'all.
'Cause you're the name above all names. You are worthy of all praise. And my heart will sing, how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God.
God, I ask that here in this place this morning that it would be more than just shade under trees and the sunshine and the wind blowing, but we would encounter the kingdom of heaven. That we have all come from places where maybe the cereal ran out, or there wasn't any donuts that we liked at Casey's on the ride over, or maybe your bike didn't run right, but we've had things this day that didn't work well. So I pray that you would take those from our hearts and our minds and set them aside so that we can encounter you. That you can come to us like that day that you came to Adam and you took dirt out of the ground and you said, live, and he did. This day I ask that you would breathe life into us. Amen.
You've been walking the same old road for miles and miles. You've been hearing the same old voice, still the same old lie. If you're trying to fill the same old holes inside, there's a better life. There's a better life. If you got pain, he's the pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom, a savior, he's a prison shaking savior. You got chains, he's a chain breaker. Search for the light of day in the dead of night. We've all found ourselves worn out from the same old fight. We've all run to things we know that just ain't right. There's a better life. There's a better life. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom, a savior, he's a prison shaking savior. You got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you believe it, receive it. If you can feel it, somebody testify. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify, testify. If you believe it, if you receive it, somebody testify. You got chains, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom, a savior, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker.
I just want to say, y'all sound good through all of that. Like, when I can hear y'all over the speaker that's pointed back at me, that's a good sign. So thank you. Y'all can have a seat. The deacons and ushers are going to come forward to take this morning's offering. I'm just kidding. There's no offering. Y'all can have a seat. And Kenny, where are you at? We're going to invite Kenny up. I'm going to say a prayer for Kenny before he gets started. And then he's going to take it away and make sure that you don't get too close to that speaker. You'll hear the rapture. It'll sound like, okay. So I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for Kenny. I'm going to pray for y'all, honestly, that you can hear God's work through Kenny's story. And then I just ask that you give him your attention. So, Spirit, I pray that you would come, and I pray that the wax that is spiritually and proverbially stuck inside of our ears, that you would take it away, that you would dig it out, that you would help us to be able to hear your voice. That here this day, like the trucks going by or the birds chirping, that your hand is at work in almost everything that we do, preparing us, shaping us, molding us, bringing us to that place where your whisper, your voice, sometimes your shout can awaken us, can open our eyes. So Lord, this day I pray that your voice would fall through Kenny like a heavenly rain, trickling down our ears and down our spine and into our hearts, so that with every beat we are changed people because we've heard your victory. Jesus, I pray for a special anointing on Kenny, that you would give him the words that you desire for him to say. I pray that you would take the nerves and anxieties out so that those things come out smooth and easy, and that you would help us to be attentive. That we would begin to see our own lives shaped through somebody else's, that maybe this day is the day that you've been calling us. So in your powerful name, Jesus, amen. Kenny, it's all you.
Good morning. First of all, I want to thank Curt and Donna for having an event like this. It's wonderful. There should be more of them. But I'd like to share with you this morning what Jesus Christ has done for me. First of all, I'll give you a little bit of background about me. I was born and raised, I guess, kind of 60, 70 miles from here over by Heron Lake. My dad was in the military, so I traveled around a lot. I was born into an alcoholic family, dysfunctional, on every level. At about the age of 12, I was introduced to drugs and alcohol. I dabbled around with them pretty much all through high school. Threw away wonderful scholarships for baseball. Decided I needed to get out of that life and I would change life. It was all somebody else's fault. So I joined the military, and same thing continued. I was into the alcohol pretty hard, and I found myself over in Beirut. Well, I got through Beirut and that little ordeal, and that gave me even a better reason to blame somebody else and turn more into drugs. So when I got out, it was easy for me to get street drugs, prescription drugs, pretty much whatever I wanted. Well, I continued to fight that battle with alcohol and drugs and criminal activity on every level. Got married in 1988. The alcohol escalated, the drugs, criminal, thieving, lying, manipulating, whatever was possible, I did it. Through the job I had at that time, I was introduced to the Hispanics, a lot of them. In 2004, I ended up destroying my family life. And probably the only two things I cared about was my son and daughter. Through all that alcohol and drugs and selling and so forth, I lost them in my life. So I decided that there was probably only one thing to do, and that was to continue on the path I was on. I was introduced to the Honduran cartel. I found myself in Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico. I was bringing drugs back. I was involved with coyote and illegal immigrants and every other criminal activity. In 2007, I found myself at the United States Border Patrol that had me, and I was incarcerated in Mexico. I had a bunch of dope on me, and I didn't know what I was going to do at that point. Well, I wasn't a very godly person, but I decided, boy, God, you got to get me out of this mess, and he did. Through all this and all them years, I believed that he was with me, and I didn't know how to connect. I had this hole in my heart. All the drugs, alcohol, whatever it was, wouldn't fill that. I was incarcerated 22 times, went to 9 treatment facilities, and nothing seemed to help. Well, I got out of jail in Mexico and found myself up in New Life Treatment Center. I got out and I ended up somehow about 10 miles from here, 8 miles from here. I thought, well, I'm going to change this. Well, nothing changed. So I started at it again until about 3 years into it, I was in trouble again. I still just couldn't get it. Well, I believe that God puts people in places and introduces you to people at certain times. At this time, I was full-blown alcoholic again, drug addict, selling, whatever. But God had introduced somebody to me. Her name's Kim. She's here somewhere. And I was watching Kim go through the same life that I was already at. I had already lost hope. There was nothing left but drugs. I was watching Kim. She had lost her daughter, her family. They didn't want nothing to do with her. And it was just a repeat of what had happened to me. But she had the desire and wanted to save her life and her kid. And here I am, and I said, well, I can help you. Full-blown addict, alcoholic, and I'm going to save her. Because for some reason or another, God had told me that don't let this happen to her. So I told Kim, I says, you need to go get help. Here I am telling her to get help. And I'm the one that got her where she was. So it wasn't a very good deal. Well, at the time, she was in a situation where she couldn't ask for help or they're going to put her in jail. So I said, well, we'll just have a treatment center here at the house. This ought to go well. So Kim, she had the desire to save her family and her daughter. So we started this up, and God would open a door at this time, and these people would help. Everywhere we went would help her. Well, as I'm doing this, I'm kind of learning something here. This went on for, I don't know, a couple weeks, and Kim had asked me to take her over to Solid Rock Church in Worthington. And I had known the pastor, actually, 20 years prior to that, when I was in jail. He'd come and would talk to us and tell us what God could probably do for us. So I kind of knew who he was, and Kim went in there, and I stayed out in the car, of course. She got done with him, and here he come, and he said, well, how are you doing, Kim? Well, I'm doing good. All right. Well, why don't you come inside here? I said, okay. So I went in there, and he kind of knew what Kim was going through, and I was trying to explain to him how I was going to be the counselor here. So he said, well, how's that working out for you? I said, well, it ain't working out real good here. I'm trying to get her clean, and it ain't working out so well when I'm drinking and doing my thing. He says, well, maybe we ought to talk to Todd for help. And I'm like, well, you don't know, Pastor Scott there. I went down that road. There ain't no hope. He said, well, can I say a little prayer with you? I said, well, sure you can. And honestly, I don't know what he said. I sat there and yep. I went home. There I was, and I woke up that night about 2 o'clock in the morning. And me being me, of course, I had a little bit of my stash out in the shed. And I got up and I was going to go out and take care of what I had to take care of and go back in and counsel Kim there. Well, I went into the mirror and I don't know, I just stood there for a minute. I said, if there's a God, all the stuff I've been through, all the times I've helped you, and you did get me out of trouble, but then I'd forget right away. I said, you gotta help me out here. I'm craving this dope and this alcohol, and the biggest thing is I don't want to see this young lady go down that path I went down. So if you're real, you gotta show me something here. My gosh, I stood there for a while and decided, well, I better go to bed here. I'll make it through tonight. So I did. Next morning, I woke up, and that was the first thing I'd always do is go get high before I went to work. That was a must or I couldn't function. So I got up and that felt pretty good. Like, well, what happened here? So I thought, well, I better not do that today. I'm just going to go on to work. So I did. Throughout that day, something kept telling me, boy, you should call that Pastor Scott. He might know what he's doing. I don't know. So I did. I called him up. And I said, I don't know what you said, but I need to talk to you. He says, well, that's fine. Come on over. So I did. And I went over and I told him the situation. He kind of knew, and I said, my whole life I've been fighting this, and something's got to happen. And he kept telling me, he said, if you ask to step forward and get your life with Jesus Christ, things will change, Ken. And I'm like, well, all right, let's see here. We'll try to get this going. So I went home, and I didn't make her too long that day. And I started my stuff again. And I was watching Kim fighting it, and daughter wouldn't talk to her, and Dad wouldn't let her in her house. And I said, man, this ain't right. So that night, probably the first time ever in my life, I actually prayed, I guess, what I considered a prayer at that time. The next morning I woke up, and again I felt pretty good. But this time I decided, I feel good enough. I better walk out here to the shed and get rid of this dope. With that prayer, I have not craved dope since. I've been clean from that day, from alcohol, drugs, and any criminal activity. That was 3 years ago. Now, like I said before, through that miracle itself, I watched Kim reunite with her family. God has put her in my life, and a wonderful daughter that she has. And I can stand here for hours and hours and tell you how blessed I have been, the miracles Jesus Christ has done for me in the last 3 years. So whenever I used to judge people, I try not to do that, because unless I've walked in their shoes, I don't know. I honestly believe the enemy, when he gets you down, he will take away all hope. He will manipulate, lie, whatever. When it gets to that point, you think there is no hope, but I have learned there is. And that's Jesus Christ. I'm so grateful that I have been blessed by his mercy. So with that, Pastor, wherever he went,
Sneaking up behind you like a ninja.
that is all I got.
I just got to share something with you guys. If I can get this technology unit working. Didn't really plan on doing this, but I'm gonna. We were getting ready for this thing last night. This text came in. This is how God works. This God works that we serve through a poster. This is the text I got. It said, "Hi, Curt. My name is Trilani. Kenny Elder was my brother-in-law for 11 years. He is still uncle to my children, but we didn't know his location or contact info for years. I saw a flyer today stating he will be sharing his testimony tomorrow. This is beyond fabulous. I'd like his phone number. Can you please give me his number? I will be uplifting him in prayer as he prepares his story to present it to us." She says, "I am so thankful he has come to the relationship with our Lord and Savior." So, remember, that come from a poster. She picked that up on that poster we hang in the Casey's and stuff. That's how God works. And that's awesome. I just had to present that. He's a changed man. I've known this guy since we started out there. And to be honest with you, the first 2 weeks I met him, I didn't care for him at all. I'm being honest here. He's completely 100% changed, and I'll tell you what, we've become the best of friends, thank God.
I'm pretty sure Curt said the exact same thing about me after the first couple weeks he met me. And that's not really a joke. That's for real. There are probably days that he still does. Here's the deal, y'all. Some of you come from backgrounds where you've lived and there's been some part of God or Jesus in your life as long as you can remember. Some of you have said no to that. Some of you have said yes. Some of you have said, well, maybe it'll work. I'll go and do the stuff. The reality is we all have struggles. Maybe your story isn't as in-depth or as rough as Kenny's is, but you have things. There are things that sit down in that pit of your stomach that you stare over at the clock at 1:30 a.m. and then 2:30 and then 3:22 and 4:17, and then it's time to get up for work, and they didn't go. They still hurt. God hears you in that. This last week I did a funeral for a guy that his dad had passed away, and the family dynamics were kind of crazy, and I preached on the passage from Lazarus where Martha comes up and says, God, Jesus, if you had been here, you would have fixed this and he wouldn't have died. And he gives her the answer of, I'm the way and I'm the resurrection. And do you believe that? And she says, yes, the right answers. And then Mary, the sister that's not quite so type A, comes up and just falls at Jesus' feet and cries and says, if you had been here, this wouldn't have happened. The exact same things. And Jesus cries with her. It says Jesus wept. He wept because even in those places where we feel completely abandoned, in those places where maybe we've said, God, if you just help me out of this one, I'll never again. He hears that his struggle is your struggle. And the reason in that is because it says right there, because he loved Mary, Martha, and their brother Lazarus. Loved them. So he stands at the tomb and says, roll the stone away, knowing that as soon as he says the words, Lazarus is coming out and he's taken his place. Because immediately after that, the religious leaders go, I don't know that we like that guy. He's moving, he's changing things. And the reality is that Jesus stands here right now today and says, to you, come out. Come out of that place where you felt shame. Come out of that place where you felt sorrow. Come out of that place where you've been stuck in depression. Come out of that place where you've maybe just went along with the motions year after year, day after day, and your life just feels numb. Come out. I'd invite you during the next songs. This next song is just a testimony about God's love for us. So I invite you to stand and sing along. And if there's a point in there that you simply say the prayer, God, I believe it. You do love me and I accept that love. You know that there's more than a few people that have been praying for this moment right now for you.
Jealous for me. Love's like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. And all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory. Realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. Know how he loves us so. Oh, how he loves us. How he loves us so. He does. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. We are his portion. He is our prize. Drawn to redemption like a grace in his eyes. If grace is an ocean, we are all sinking. So heaven meets earth like a sloppy wet kiss, and my heart turns violently inside of my chest. I don't have time to maintain these regrets when I think about where
God, I pray that in this moment now that you would have moved. I pray that you would affirm those feelings inside where we say, maybe for the 50th time, God, yes, change me. And that you would help us to live into that change. Amen. Now we got one more song. It's not on your sheet, but it's an old favorite that we... When the patron says, hey, you should do that I Saw the Light song because it's real fast and up-tempo and we kind of like to move our bodies even though we're Midwestern people. We don't move our bodies at all. It's okay to clap your hands. You can hear. You just find that thump and you just make your hands do the same thing and she's going to shake the tambourine. But a few things before we go. For one, we've already prayed for the food. You can eat it. I prayed against any intestinal distress that you would receive. Feel free to eat. Also, make sure that if you rode here that you get one of the packs that has the towel and the sticker and all that stuff from Vision on Vine Bike Blessing. Make sure you take that with you. Free gift to you. And if you desire for the CMA crew, they're going to be coming around. Just simply stand by your bike and they will come and bless you, bless your bike, pray for your safety and travels and all those things. But you got to be by your bike and they'll just kind of make their way around. You can see them. They got the vests and stuff on. And I think that's it. If you want a free t-shirt, your name will be on the board or they'll tell you inside. But now, go ahead, shake your hands out a little bit like this. Turn to your neighbor to your right and go, you sound good today. And turn to your neighbor on your left and go, you sound good too. And we're going to get this thing going.
'Cause I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I wandered so aimless, this life filled with sin. I wouldn't let my dear Savior in. When Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. 'Cause I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Just like a blind man, I wandered alone. Worries and fears I claimed for my own. And like a blind man, that God gave back his sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. 'Cause I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. And so glad more than when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home of consolation shore. I'll fly away, and I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away when I die, hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land when joy will never end. I'll fly away, 'cause I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away when I die, hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. I'll fly away.
Totally screwed that up. That was my bad. That was not the ending we practiced. The Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you even when you don't feel worthy. And may his peace be yours. Amen, y'all. Make sure you get some food, get your stickers and stuff. Stand by your bikes if you want the CMA crew to give you a blessing. Otherwise, awesome. Spread the word. Come back next year.